It's around about 8:30 on Sunday evening. The plots are quiet now, so I thought I'd do a quick walk around. We haven't done a huge amount this week, so I've been at work and I've not really had a lot of time, so we'll just have a quick look at what we've got going on. The calendula is starting to come through, self-seeded. All the tulips have gone over now, so I shall trim the heads off them. This bed's still covered over. Comfrey corner, as we shall now call it, is starting to take shape. The top plant there is Bocking 14, and the other 4 are just plants that I've found on the other plot, so I've dug them up and put them in there. So that's going to be the comfrey corner from now on. Did manage to get the paths sorted out today. It's looking a lot neater. Daffodils are all going. They're going to need to be dead-headed, but the foxgloves are coming through nicely. No sign of any dahlias down there, so I don't know if they've survived the winter, because my dahlias at home have started to come up already. Garlic bed's looking okay. Let's have a look in the tunnel. I've had to take a few onions today because they're starting to go to seed, so we've just taken them home and we've used them as spring onions today, and I should be eating them throughout the week with my sandwiches. Cornflower, Bedfordshire champion, eggplant, spinach, I believe they're calabrese, more cornflower, some leftover brassicas. There's 2 different types of cabbage in there. Sorry, not cabbage. 2 different types of lettuce in there. Some more lettuce there. We've planted some of these out today on the other plot. We'll have a look at that in a second. That's your Californian poppy, a little bit of cosmos, and some dahlias. So I'll prick those out and pot them on throughout the week. So a tray of zinnias. I did some earlier, but it was far too early. I put them outside and they didn't even survive the night. Tomatoes are still going well. Some more cosmos and more lettuce. Sweet corn, I'm not sure. I think it's too early to put it out just yet. Some people on the plots have put theirs out already, but I'm going to wait till the start of next month to put mine on. And some of the onions are starting to bulb up quite nicely. It seems strange on this side of the tunnel, none of them have gone to seed, but on the other side, I think it might be because it gets a little bit more sun, but probably 5 or 6 have gone to seed. Grapevines come back again. It did start 3 or 4 weeks ago, but then the frost came and it just killed all the leaves off, so I'll tie that in. I'm going to climb it up the frame and then across the top of the tunnel. So that's the tunnel. Compost heaps. That's a compost heap, it is. Not a lot there. These 2 are full of horse manure and cow manure, so they should be ready for next year. And if we have a look in the greenhouse, more tomatoes. I'm doing really well in here. We've got a cucumber. It's actually started to produce fruit. I think it was because it was under a bit of stress in a smaller pot, so hopefully it'll calm down in here. Peppers. These have all gone a little bit pale. They've never been brilliant. I'm hoping they'll pull through. I think they should. I'm not too fussed if they don't. I've got plenty. These are the Pongo beans that Bill and Val sent to me. Thank you very much. They've nearly all come through, and the Minnesota midget melons have started to come through. We've got a good germination on those. There's only 3 that haven't come through. The asparagus that I've grown from seed, after I cut the top off it, has started to reshoot from underneath. So that's looking good. Some more onions there, Bedfordshire Champion, and then my Musselburgh leeks. In here we've got more melons, cantaloupe, honeydew, runner beans, courgettes. I'm not sure what these are. Let's have a look. Oh, they're blotto beans. I've only had 3 out of there, so hopefully the rest will come up in a day or 2. But things are looking pretty good inside the greenhouse. Oops, back in the carrot bed. I've just watered them, so they're lying down. I've put a few more in. I did thin them out, but since I thinned them out, a few died. So I can always re-sow, so they're doing okay. And then in the other side, parsnips are looking healthy. Again, they've just been watered, so they're falling over, but it's looking good. Just cover that over. That's more of a sunshade, and it will also hopefully keep the carrot root fly off. Took a picking from the spinach today to go with the onions for a salad. Broad beans are okay. I've put a row of carrots in there, so I need to water those. And so more parsnips in there. I'll give those another week or 2 and then thin them out, because I think I was a little bit hasty thinning the carrots out. So I'm not going to learn from my mistake. Potatoes hitting the grow bags. Grow sacks are doing okay. And then these are the second earlies. This is the Chinese cabbage that we planted out last week, and the pak choi. I think we've lost one of the Chinese cabbage. Pak choi is doing okay. I just put the remaining main crop potatoes in here, and as you can see, they're starting to come through. So I need to take this Enviromesh cover off. And then in the potato bed proper, first earlies, I think there's 1 that's not come through. Second earlies, maybe 3 or 4 that haven't come through. And this could do with the weeding, but I don't want to weed it in case I knock the top off the potatoes. I think there is 1 or 2 that have just started to come through. So they're the King Edwards, and then there's some more there that were spares that I just put in buckets. Rhubarb's looking healthy. I'm not going to take anything from it this year because it's the first year it's been in. So we're going to leave it, and then next year we can start taking pickings. The fruit cage is finally finished, fully meshed up with a working door. So planted, that's a raspberry. Peas are starting to thicken up a little bit now. Red currant, blackcurrant, strawberries. I've actually got strawberries on them. Just starting to come through. So I think we've got the cage finished just in the nick of time. As soon as they ripen up, the birds will be after them, but they're not going to get to them. I think that's a different variety there. That's a later fruiting variety. Raspberry plants. Not sure what's happened to this one. And this one's done nothing since I bought it. Cable ties. Some of the cabbages, there was 3 rows of cabbages in here, but I thought I'd move them all when I rotated the frame, but they've survived, so they live there now. And it's a blueberry. I've potted it up in some ericaceous compost and popped in because it was in a much smaller pot, and since I've done it we've got a few new shoots starting to come through, so hopefully it'll kick it into life. There's the apple tree, planted on Coronation Day. Just put the arch in there temporarily for now, just so it's out of the way. Got more strawberries here. These were the leftovers from last year. I didn't even think they were going to survive, but they're doing all right. Let's have a quick walk up to the other plot. So this is the second plot. More strawberry plants and a rogue shallot that just popped in. I did try and get a little bit done on here this weekend, but it's taking forever to dig it because there's so much mare's tail, as you can see. Virtually every forkful of soil that you dig into, you're pulling mare's tail out, and some of the roots are sort of 2 or 3 feet long. So this little area here took 3 hours to dig, and these are all the mare's tail roots. I mean, you can see the length of some of them. That's full, that bag's full, and that bag over there is virtually full, and that's just from this tiny little area here, but we'll get there. Shots and dwarf beans are coming up nicely. You can see the couple of rows of carrots. We're starting to get something on those. And the other row, today we sowed some lettuce in between. That's perpetual spinach, and then another row of lettuce, and then the beetroot finally starting to come through. Not so much on this row, but it's patchy. But I think what I might do is, once it gets going, is sort of pick out the best of it and put it all, and just possibly have 1 or 2 rows. And then in the infamous brassica cage, more beetroot. It's really going well, that is. Bedfordshire champion onions, need to do a little bit of weeding in there again. More parsnip. Graham cabbage. And then these are the 6 calets. 3 there. 3 there, it's doing well. These are some spare Chinese cabbage that I just popped in. So it's all doing pretty well. It seems to be very, very slow growing, but when you're up here every day, you don't notice it. I suppose if I was to have a week off, I'd see the difference. I did make a start on the paths up here as well, but the mower ran out of petrol, so I didn't get very far. So that's it for this week. Just a quick look around the plot to see how things are looking. So I'll get back to the main plot, finish off the watering, and I shall see you all next week. Thanks for watching and see you later. Bye.